Politicians like to tell you that the government is like a household, and if you go into too much debt, the country will go bankrupt and the bailiffs will come and take the furniture. But actually the government is like a family home with a money printing machine in the basement. You might run the printing press hot by printing money so you can get stuck into some home renovations and fund a fascinating enterprise so you get some further qualifications. Or you could turn the press off for a while and sit at home eating cheesels and mastering PlayStation. It's up to the government to decide. In fact, between 1942 and 1974, the Australian government printed enough money to employ everyone. That's right. In Australia, we had full employment for over 30 years. It was government policy to print enough money and target the money into Commonwealth programs to keep everyone employed. Australia even signed up to a human rights declaration to guarantee every Australian the right to dignified work. Printing more money, doesn't that lead to inflation? Economists define inflation as a result of printing more money that is needed for full employment. Ever wonder why there is always more money for war but not enough money for pensions? Or why there isn't enough money for government services, but no shortages for all those entitlements politicians like so much? Take, for instance, an Australian Liberal National Party senator who has set up an offshore tax haven and who owns, say, 50 properties, bringing in millions of dollars a year. Do you think he would vote in Parliament to give teachers, nurses, pensioners a pay rise, since in true terms the government debt is zero? Besides taxes, the government prints out all the money it spends. Do you think he would vote in Parliament to return the economy to the good old days when governments directly printed enough money to support full employment? No? Why not? Well, if those teachers, nurses or hospitality workers had more money in their bank accounts, then some of them might be able to afford the Australian dream, to provide a house for the family to live in. And if more hard-working Australians started owning their own family homes, it would make it much harder for the senator to buy as many houses for himself in the future, and harder to find as many desperate renters, all eating into his future profits. Oh.
This atrocious economic situation that we find ourselves in, leaving us with this massive national debt. We've now got deficits running at over $40 billion annually. You want to talk about generational debt, burdened with massive levels of debt, massive deficits, structural deficits that are going to go on for decades. What you need to do is to take a leaf out of our book and start to become pro-development, where you can properly exploit the natural resources of your state and start to pay your own way. That's what you need to do.
In the example above of the family household with a money printing press, the senator's like a bad dad that tells all the kids that the printer broke and now you'll have to go out and get a job and pay for your own way. Meanwhile, he sneaks down to the basement at night and prints off as much money as he can for himself. In today's Australia, there is plenty of work needed to be done by nurses, scientists, teachers, and plenty of fully trained Australians looking for this very work. But the bad dads in government keep cutting jobs and crashing the economy. The real intergenerational theft is denying the sick care, workers' dignity, the poor an education, and the unemployed opportunity, all on the lie that it will blow out the government debt.